Cannot believe Thanksgiving just a couple weeks away, but we have all fall stuff for you today, and we're going to get ready. And Chris, let me know if we have any questions, comments. We're going to start cutting up some veggies and making a really good day after Thanksgiving turkey soup. So I'll give you a lot of different tips and things that you can do. Okay, so I'm just going to turn this burner on right here and add just a little bit of olive oil, maybe 2.5 tablespoons of olive oil.
Emily said, hello, Chef Rob and Chris.
Hello, Emily. How are you? So I'm going to use, well, on the recipe it says 2 carrots, but if you see the size of this carrot, it's a one carrot for this one here. But what's really good about soup, you like a lot of carrots, you put extra in. You like less celery, you put less celery in. So you could change it around a great deal. Not like baking. Baking, got to be very exact. Okay. So just peel this up here. Can you use the skins on here? Absolutely. Just clean it really good. Okay, and that'll be perfect. Just going to cut this right down here. And I'm just going to thinly slice this. Cut it to a few little sections. And just going to kind of go on an angle. I want it to be nice and thin. The thinner you cut it, the quicker it will cook. And then just cut it like that. And anyway, if you want to do little half moons with this, that would be fine as well. We're going to be using some broth. Now, I'm using a turkey broth. A turkey broth or chicken broth for this would work just fine. A lot of times what I will do is whenever I am making a turkey, I will save the juices and freeze it for the next time that I am making either gravy or soup. So this Thanksgiving, if you're not going to use the juices, just put it in a Ziploc or a little container in the freezer and pull it out when you're making a nice rich soup. Go ahead, Chris.
The Monmouth County Library said, hello, Chef Rob and Chris. Looking forward to the pie.
Oh, okay, and I hope you make it. I hope you're doing good at the Monmouth Public Library.
Elisa said, hi from West Michigan. Good to see you.
Hi, Elise. How are you?
And Aunt Prudy said, hi, Rob and Chris. Temperature here is 78. Hello.
78. Hello, Aunt Prudy. And what do we have here, Chris? I'm going to add in the carrots right here, okay? And then I'm just going to start working on the celery. Celery, 2 stalks. Again, just thinly sliced. I like to just kind of go right down the center like this. Celery you can peel if you like. Sometimes, you know, it can be a little stringy on it. So if you do want to do that, that will work out good. So I'm adding some carrots, some celery, a little bit of onion, and some green beans. And we're just going to saute them up, get them nice and soft. Maybe about 6-7 minutes to do this. And you don't have turkey, you want to make this into a chicken soup, that would work just as well. Okay. It's going to take, this says a small onion, so this one is a little more medium to a little bit larger. So I am going to just shave a little part off right here. Okay. And then just dice this up. In a little while, I'll go over a bunch of different turkey tips. So for anybody that's making a turkey this year, I'll give you some of the suggestions that I like to kind of follow when I make a turkey. Okay? And if anybody has any favorite dishes that they make every Thanksgiving, please put them in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Okay. So put this onion right in here with the carrots, the celery. Always put the harder vegetables in first so they get a nice start cooking. And then 1 cup of green beans. The green beans, just going to make sure you have all those little ends off here. Okay. And then I'm just going to cut them where they are easy to eat in a soup. So remember, you're using an orzo pasta, which is kind of small, almost like a rice, so you don't want the veggies too big. You want it to fit nicely on a soup spoon. Okay. So we'll just keep at this. I'm going to add just a little pinch of kosher salt to this.
Carol said glazed carrots.
Glazed carrots, absolutely. I love glazed carrots. Haven't had them in quite a while. So look how nice and colorful this is here. So let's saute that up. I'm going to take a little bit of fresh garlic too. 3 cloves, and just mince this up really well. And you can always just use with the broth. Again, you could boil the bones from Thanksgiving with some vegetables in it, or you can buy the boxed one that's already done for you. Okay, but there is nothing like a homemade stock. Really, really good. So I'm going to leave this right to the side here. Now, white meat, dark meat, combination of both, you can add that in here, and that will be just good. Now, I love to put rosemary in this soup. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon worth of rosemary. Okay, see, this is really nice and fresh. If it's not fresh, they're going to kind of break off really quickly, okay? It has a nice woodsy type of essence to it. Go ahead, Chris.
Maureen said oyster stuffing.
Oyster stuffing. That sounds good. I have had that. It has been quite a long time. But yeah, I hear a lot of families have that as a tradition. Some will have the traditional bread stuffing. Some will have a sausage stuffing. But if you are stuffing your turkey, and like I said, I'll give turkey tips as we kind of go along. Just make sure you don't overstuff it. You want to make sure that there's a little breathing room in there for the turkey to get cooked and for the stuffing to get heated through. If you pack that stuffing in there, the stuffing may not get hot all the way through, and your turkey may be overcooked. So kind of let it a little airy in there, and the heat will get through and cook your turkey, but also cook the stuffing as well. Okay. So I'm just going to chop up this fresh rosemary right here. And then I'm also going to use a few dried herbs. I'm using some dried thyme and oregano. Whenever you are using the dried herbs or oregano, always add less than you would if it was fresh, because the dried is more potent. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that rosemary right there. So this is cooking along nicely. Have it on like a medium-high heat, more high, so this way I can kind of move this along here. Go ahead, Chris.
Lisa said, Long Branch Free Public Library. Hi, Chef Rob. Lisa from Long
Lisa.
Branch today. It's a gorgeous day at the Jersey Shore, almost 80 degrees.
Everybody's probably at the shore, and we'll probably have a lot of people viewing later. Everybody, whatever library is on here, please call them to get the recipes, check out their website. Look for other programs at all the different libraries that are out there, okay?
Lisa also said, we always serve carrot and celery sticks and green and black olives before we eat dinner.
Ah, very good. Yep. And a little healthy, too. We'll start off a little light before we really head in there full force.
And she said, and walnuts for cracking. And Emily said, hello, Chef Rob.
That sounds great. And Emily, hello. I'm going to add in these 3 cloves of garlic, and I'm just going to cook this for just about a minute here. Now, in a minute, I am going to add in about 3 tablespoons of flour. Okay, just want to make sure that these veggies are starting to soften. They are going to cook even more because we have to boil our pasta as well. But I'm going to add in a little bit of flour, which is 3 tablespoons. The reason I do that, it will create a roux, which is, it's spelled R-O-U-X, and it's a thickening agent. So it will give it a little body to the soup too. Okay, so try to do this, but when you put the flour in, keep after it, keep moving it around, because you don't want that flour to stick to the bottom, because it can turn the taste just like that. Okay. And I have my broth right here, so I have 8 cups of the broth. So I have a nice rich broth, you can see. You want to zoom in on that, Chris? I think that'll do the trick, right?
Yeah.
So when you are cooking your turkey this year, always make sure you take a little aluminum foil and put it over the breast. It prevents that high heat from drying it out, and you will have a lot more moist of a turkey, okay? And also you can take a little softened butter and you can rub it underneath the skin, and that will kind of go right into the white meat there and make that really nice and juicy.
Lisa said your broth looks delicious.
Thank you. And here is our 3 tablespoons of just an all-purpose flour. Okay, so as soon as I get that in there, I want to move this around. I want to make sure all the flour has dissolved, and then I'm going to add in my 8 cups of chicken broth or turkey broth, whatever you may be using.
Maureen asked, is that a box broth?
No, this one is a homemade one. Last time I made a turkey, I just froze the stock that I made, and this way I have it reserved for me for whenever I want to make something like this, and I want it to taste really nice homemade. Okay, so 8 cups of broth. Okay, I just want to stir this. I'm going to add in the fresh rosemary. About 1 tablespoon is going in here. Going to add in about 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. So if you're making your own broth, it will not be that salty. So you're going to have to put a little bit of your own salt in there to bring out that flavor. A little bit of oregano, just about 1/2 teaspoon, so just a hint of it. Same with the dried thyme. Just about 1/2 teaspoon. And a little fresh ground black pepper. So I want to bring this to a boil. So I'm going to do that right here. We'll bring that to a boil. I will add in about 3/4 cup of the orzo pasta in just a little bit. And I'm going to get out the turkey. I leave the turkey in the refrigerator just until I'm ready to use it, just because you don't want it to get warm. You want it to be either very cold or very hot, okay, for food safety. I'm going to add a little bit of lemon juice at the end. As you see on my recipe, it says optional. What I feel is the lemon juice at the end, if you just take this, just squeeze a little bit, about 1/4 cup into this, and it just brings out a lot of flavor. I'm going to add in about 2 cups of baby spinach, which this is a little more than 2 cups, so I will just take what I need from this. I'm going to get the turkey out and just chop some of this turkey. Okay, so here is some really nice white meat turkey. Okay, and I am just going to chop that up. And then we're going to go over soon, and we're going to start working on our Delicata squash salad with cranberries and either feta cheese or goat cheese with a balsamic maple dressing. I am using the goat cheese today. What do you like better, Chris? Goat or feta? Did I pick the right one?
Goat.
Goat, all right. You, just because I have goat up?
No, I like goat cheese.
I know you do.
Yeah. I guess it depends on what it's for. I guess for a salad, I prefer feta more.
Okay.
But in general, goat cheese.
Yep, I'm a fan of both. I like them both. So the turkey, just give it a nice rough chop.
Pretty ironic since I'm lactose intolerant.
And you don't want to add this until the very end. Why? Because this turkey is very nice and moist, and you don't want to overcook it. You don't want it to dry out. Another way when you're cooking your turkey this Thanksgiving is you could put it on a rack and turn it upside down. And that way all the dark juices go right into the white meat and makes for a really juicy turkey. But the only thing about that is you don't get the crispy skin. So you get a juicy turkey, but no crispy skin. So, hey, everybody has, I prefer a juicy turkey over crispy skin. but I know some people, we love it, right? Okay, let's just take a little peek in here. So that'll be boiling in a minute. Then we'll add in the orzo. Again, just about 3/4 of a cup to 1 cup at the most, okay? Because if you're not going to eat all the soup all at once, I would suggest you cook the orzo on the side, okay? And then just drop it in to the soup bowls. Like, you would just take a bowl like this, put a little bit of orzo in here that's cooked, then you would ladle the soup on top. Because once the orzo is in this pot, it is just going to keep cooking and cooking and cooking. So if you have it left over, this would be the better way to go. But we're going to have it for dinner, right, Chris?
Yes.
Okay. So we're kind of warming up for Thanksgiving, right? We're just like a pregame show, right?
Yes.
Okay, let that there. Let's slide over here to the Delicata squash salad. Now that, I know if you've been watching my food festivals or my virtual programs, or you come see me at the library, you know I love Delicata squash. Now, there are all different type of colors on it, okay? You should be paying no more than 99 cents a pound, especially at this time of the year when they're so plentiful. So you want to just take this and just cut it right down the center. Just be careful.
The Monmouth County Library said such a beautiful veggie.
Oh, so good. And as you probably know, Lisa, you can, not Lisa, at the Monmouth County Library. I get them all. The Long Branch, Monmouth. I'm not sure who is out there because I know so many over at Monmouth. You can eat the skin on this. The skin is really, really good, nutritious, okay? Make sure you take a spoon, or I have the gloves here. I am just getting rid of these seeds right here. And I have my oven turned on. I have it turned on to 300 right now. I'm sorry, I have it 425. 300 I have it for the sweet potato pie. So I'm just gonna take this, turn it over just like that. Do my other Delicata squash.
The Monmouth County Library said we are also happy to be with you both.
Thank you so much. And hopefully I'll get to Jersey someday and come in the doors and say hello to you. Okay. Got that. Now, couple seeds here. Get rid of them. Now what you're going to do is just cut these in about 1/4 inch thick slices. And then have a pan with aluminum foil on it. Okay, because you're going to roast these in a 425 oven. It'll probably take about 15 minutes. Then we're just going to flip them over, and we are just going to add a little bit of maple syrup on this in a little while too. This is so good. You could just eat this as your dinner. It's that good. And it has a sweet corn and a pumpkin kind of a taste to it. You know, not strong, but you will get that if you really just sit there and eat it kind of plain. So let's just take this, spread these out well.
Linda X, is a squash hard to slice?
Some squashes are. The Delicata is not that hard, but the Delicata you can, and all the squashes, you can put in the microwave for a little bit, kind of soften it up a little. So I am just going to take this Delicata squash, take a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, just drizzle it right there, a little black pepper. Black pepper, kosher salt. Now the black pepper. And now I'm just going to take this and I'm going to toss it really well. Put it into the 425-degree oven. Before I do that, I want to get that orzo cooking. Okay, there it is boiling. Again, I don't want to over pour it. I want about 3/4 of a cup. This in here. I hope you all will make these during the holidays. Okay, leave that to the side. And I am just gonna keep coming back to this and keep an eye on that. All right, so I'm gonna roast the Delicata squash now. I want to give it a good toss. Now, I could make 2 of them, but I already roasted one so you can see how it is when it's nice and cool. Okay, so just kind of spread this out like this. And now we're going to put this in the oven, 425 for about 15 minutes. Want to get these nice and tender. I am just reducing down the soup just a little bit. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm going to make the dressing while I'm roasting the squash. So this is the dressing that you would make for the Delicata squash salad. Very easy. A lot of things go into it. So you want about a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. Just a small bowl. If you have a little jar, just put it in a little jar, and you could always just shake everything together. So a 1/4 cup. A little bit of Dijon mustard. Dijon mustard, just about a teaspoon's worth. Okay. If you like your mustard, another teaspoon in there would be just fine. Going to take 2 tablespoons balsamic vinegar. A lot of different balsamics out there, and some really good quality ones. A little kosher salt, some black pepper, and I want 2 teaspoons of pure maple syrup. Just about 2 teaspoons. Okay. And 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. Try to use the fresh. So these are pretty juicy, these lemons here. So I am just gonna squeeze that through here. Hey Chris, I can't find the juicer.
You can't find
I
it?
can't find it.
Wow.
I'll come up with it. Okay.
Maybe this Christmas I'll get you another one.
Okay, and then a little bit of fresh garlic, 1 small clove fresh garlic. So just chop that up really small, add that right into the dressing, and then you're just going to leave that right on the side. So I have some nice spring mix right here. The spring mix has been actually pretty good, and even for this time of the year. We're very lucky we have a lot of farm stands on Long Island. Put that garlic right in there. We're just going to whisk this up really well. Okay, you just leave this set to the side. Gonna go give the soup just a little stir, Chris. I'm just gonna hold this up because you can just see how rich that broth is. It's just really, really nice. Okay. So about 11 minutes so for the Delicata squash that's in the oven. So I'm gonna prepare the salad, get everything ready for it. Here's my bowl with the spring mix. Really nice and fresh, and nice when it just kind of not heavy. You don't want to put anything heavy on it because it kind of flattens it down, kind of wilts it. So anything heavy, just kind of put around the outsides, and then when you're ready to enjoy it, then give it a nice toss and then sit down and enjoy it. Okay. So with this, I want to use 1 avocado. The avocados, I think this one's a little better. I just like to take a paring knife and just go along the pit, just like that. And then you just kind of open that up. If you take a little plastic wrap, it will prevent this from getting black in the refrigerator. Okay, so a little plastic wrap, but you want it to be right on this flesh. And then just take the knife just like that and the pit will come out. And I'm just going to cut this into nice slices. Okay. I probably will add another avocado later because we love avocado here. So I'm just going to put this to the side. The salad. Again, not ready to sit down and enjoy this, so I'll put everything to the side. Before we go off, we'll toss it and show you the way it should look. So with the turkey, another thing with the turkey, try not to ever cook it higher than 350. My favorite temperature for cooking a turkey, 325. There are some recipes out there that say cook it up as high as 500 degrees and then lower it down to like 300. And there's a lot of famous chefs that say that. I'm not a fan of that. I know it will get the skin really nice and crisp, but I really do feel it dries out quicker. They get a nice steady temperature. That is why nowadays we don't baste the turkeys anymore, because basting is really good for the turkey, but it's actually worse to just open and close that oven because the temperatures just keep dropping and going up and down, and that kind of shocks the turkey and makes it drier. So just something to, but put in the comments, anybody, what temperature you cook your bird at. Okay. All right, this has come out good. And it's going to have a little thickness again to it because we did add the 3 tablespoons of flour, so that does give it a little bit of body. I'm going to put in about a half cup of chopped pecans. And you can also candy your pecans as well too, which I did. I think I actually did some last time when we did our virtual class in September, or no, October. And just a little bit of sugar, a little bit of butter, let them cool, and then they are perfect. Okay, just chop them a little bit, spread them around here. We're going to put some dried cranberries. If you're not a cranberry fan, I mean, Thanksgiving, you got to be a cranberry fan. But if not, dried cherries work as well. Okay, you could put raisins on this. You change it the way you want it. About 1/3 of a cup. Go ahead, Chris.
The Long Branch Library said, I do start my turkey at a higher temperature, then turn it down after 20 or 30 minutes, but I prefer a drier turkey, so I guess that works out for me.
Oh, okay. Now, I don't know if I've ever heard anybody say, I want a drier turkey. Wow. And who said that? That was
from the Long Branch Library.
Oh, Lisa, so wow. Do you stuff your turkey? Does anybody put a bed of vegetables underneath? Because if you put a bed of vegetables underneath and then the juices go down into the vegetables, the broth is just so much better. Just gives so much more flavor.
She said her family likes their meat very well done. No stuffing inside.
No stuffing. Got it. Inside. Okay. And orzo, you have to really watch. You have to make sure that you really get the bottom of the pot, because when orzo sticks to the bottom of the pot, boy, it could take a day or two to get that off. It really takes a little while.
She said I put some veggies in the cavity.
Okay, yes. One of the things I like to do with the cavity is cut up some lemons, some limes, a little rosemary, a little sage. Just put it in there, and it throws off that nice citrusy herb flavor right into the meat. And you will get a little hint of all of that as you're enjoying it. So just another way that you could do that. I'm going to cut up a little bit of red onion. So about 1/4 of a red onion, but I have a pretty large one here. So I'm just going to cut that. I'm going to cut this into thin slices, little pieces, and put this right on the salad. And I'm going to have to get that squash in a minute because that should be just about ready. that right on here. And then I have my goat cheese as well. I'm gonna leave my little bowl of goat cheese right there in the salad. Don't want to forget to put that in there. Okay, let me go get the squash. And then what I'm gonna do with the squash is I'm gonna take a little maple syrup, toss it, okay, have a little spatula ready, and then finish it off in the oven. It may take 5 minutes, it may take 15 more minutes. Just want it nice and tender. Good, Chris.
The Long Branch Library said that's a great idea about using citrus and rosemary inside the turkey. I think I'll try that this year. I usually do an apple, carrot, celery, and onion.
That sounds really good as well, too. So maybe you try mine and I'll try yours this year, okay? So we're just going to take this squash right here, the Delicata squash, and I just want just a little drizzle of the maple syrup, and then just kind of all separated, and that maple syrup, and it's going to taste so good. Again, I roasted one earlier so you could see what it looks like because I want it to be cool for the salad, and I'll show you that. And I tried a piece of it, and oh my god, it was just so good. I'm going to put this back in the oven, finish this off.
Let's see. Linda said, I missed the first 20 minutes because of a surprise visitor. Will you be posting the soup recipe and other recipes? Yes, they are all posted on our page and also your library. So you could check with your library first because they'll definitely be able to send it to you. Long Branch Library said, that's a deal, Chef Rob. Fran asks, what cheese that is not from goat's milk would be good for this?
You know, it's really whatever, I would say a milder cheese, whatever's kind of mild that you like. So, yeah, you know, I prefer the goat and the feta cheese. That's my two cheeses. So, you know, it's a preference. You know, it's not, like I said, it's not baking, so you put in the cheese that you really enjoy. Look at this. This is just getting nice and thick. See how that is? So it has a nice little body to this. I actually may have to do this one in the library someday.
Yeah?
Right? Maybe I'll come to New Jersey and we got a couple libraries there and go do this one. But no, now you'd want a different one because I already did this for you, even though it's virtual, right?
Fran said allergic to those cheeses.
Ah. Yeah, Fran, whatever cheeses you've been eating that, you know, you enjoy, that's what, put it in there. Again, more milder, something like that. I'm going to take the goat cheese and just, it's a little warm, so I just want to kind of break it into little pieces. And then I'm going to toss this, and whenever you can, of course, just eat this as soon as you can, because as soon as it sits a while, it is going to, you know, weigh down. I'm going to leave the rest of the goat cheese on the side. So I'm just going to take this dressing here. I'm going to use about half of it, drizzle it on here. And now let's just kind of give this a light toss and see how it is. More avocado in here would be good. Some chopped up fresh pears would be great in here, or chopped up apples. You always want to make sure you leave that bowl, especially on Thanksgiving Day, just nice and clean on the side. Don't you hate when you go to a restaurant and it's kind of sloppy how they leave it? To me, it just shows, you know, if they care about your dinner or not. That's the way I was when I was a chef in the restaurants. Now this here, this is the finished Delicata squash, okay? So nice and tender. Eat that skin. The skin just throws up nice color, nice flavor, and just kind of drape that around here. And you could always top it again with a little more cheese on top. So this is actually one Delicata squash. So depending on the size, 1 to 2, depends on how many people are enjoying it. But if this Delicata is left over, it's good with me because I love it. get back to that orzo in a second. Okay. Check that out. So getting nice and thick. The orzo just about cooked all the way through. So I am going to add in some of the turkey to this. So add in up to 3 cups of the turkey. And 2 cups of the baby spinach, and just kind of let it wilt in there. If it seems like it's a little thick, just a little more broth, just a little water, okay?
Fran said the squash skin you said added flavor. Does one eat the skin?
Yes, this squash you do eat the skin. But always just make sure that the skin is washed really, really well, okay? So we just added in the turkey, added in the baby spinach. Gonna add in up to a 1/4 cup of fresh lemon juice. Okay, so I'm just gonna squeeze 1/2 for right now, and then I'm gonna finish it off with a little kosher salt and black pepper. And then I'll just show you how to serve this. Just squeeze it through your fingers, put it in there. Just brings out a lot of freshness. And now just a little hint of the kosher salt.
The Long Branch Library X, what type of goat cheese is this?
This goat cheese, the brand, Lisa, I don't know. I got it at a restaurant supply store, but sometimes where I live, there's a goat farm out here, and I just was not by it, and they have some of the best goat cheese there. So if you're ever out on the end of Long Island, I know Catapano's goat cheese. It's really, really good. So creamy. You probably can order that somehow, because they ship everything now, right? So I just want to ladle this, show everybody what this looks like.
The Long Branch Library X, is it Gouda? I find it confusing.
Oh no, it's not Gouda. Nope, not at all. Gouda, pretty much a milder cheese. Goat cheese, a little bit of a stronger flavor to it.
Yeah, I guess she was asking if it's its own kind of cheese.
Got it. Yes, it is. Yes. So this here is what I call the day after Thanksgiving turkey soup. So I hope you make this, because this is going to be really good dinner. This one right here is the Delicata squash with the cranberries and feta or goat cheese and balsamic maple dressing.
Emily said that soup looks delicious.
Thank you. And Emily, why do I know you are going to make it? And let me know how you enjoy it, okay? Or if you don't enjoy it, you can tell me. Emily, I hope to get back to your library soon. I know you're doing renovations at your library.
And this is Emily's stores.
Oh, Emily, I will be at your library December for a cinnamon swirl chocolate chip bread.
Long Branch Library said that soup looks so good.
Thank you.
Joanne said soup looks yummy. Maureen said looks so good.
Thank you, everybody. So here's the salad.
Carol X, could you use mozzarella cheese instead?
Soup. You could. I would say mozzarella cheese, though, like almost like with a fall thing, doesn't kind of go. But you know what? If you like it, that's all that matters.
Fran said, I want some now.
Okay. So let's go over and start making the grandma's sweet potato pie, okay? Slide in here. Okay, so another turkey tip I want to give everybody is, if you have a big family or you're having a lot of people over, try not to buy the 20, 22 pound turkey. You're better off with 2, 10, 12 pound turkeys. It will be more tender, more juicy, okay? Except, Lisa, you buy a 25-pound turkey, okay? Because you want it drier, okay? But yeah, that does work, you know, getting that. And what is the best turkey to buy? It is always the organic one, just because there are no chemicals, no antibiotics in there, and you are just tasting pure turkey, okay? If you see a little shade of pink in your turkey and your thermometer says 165 and you say, I better put it back, it's a little more pink, it's too pink, don't put it back. The reason is the salt content, like from a butter ball or something like that, makes it stay pink because salt keeps the meat looking pink. It does it with chicken, turkey, pork, anything like that, okay? So, the grandma's sweet potato pie. In a few minutes, I will lower the temperature in the oven to 300 now for this one here.
Emily said they said there's a shortage of turkeys.
There's turkeys in the store, so if you got freezer space or refrigerator, get your turkey.
I feel like they definitely say that just to get you to buy it.
Yeah, maybe there's not as many out there, but there should be a turkey out there for everybody.
Maybe
okay?
for restaurants. When you're buying in bulk or something.
Maybe that way, but yeah, I think they say it more towards you and I though, to because the price is going to be up everything. So you'll notice on the recipe it says 1.5 cups of either canned sweet potatoes or some of the fresh ones, 2 to 3 depending on the size. So you want it to be about 1.5 cups worth of sweet potatoes. Now you could just kind of put the electric mixer on this. You see I have gloves, so I am just doing this. Just mash it really good. Now these are sweet potatoes. These are not the yams. The sweet potatoes are usually here from early October until around the middle of December. They have so much more flavor than the yams. The yams are more starchy. This more flavor, you could see a bright orangey flesh to it, a lot richer, more nutrients in it, okay? Typically they come from North Carolina, so if anybody needs these, you go to Aunt Prudy's house and she will give you some sweet potatoes. So I'm gonna take this mashed sweet potato. Actually, I know I have more than 1.5 cups in here, so I am just gonna scoop a little bit out.
Let's see. Emily said I will make the soup tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
And she said she'll make the pie too, but Jeffrey will have to cut the vegetables.
Okay.
And then Fran said there's a turkey farm, grocery, and catering meals near Howell, New Jersey, perhaps in Wall or Manasquan.
Okay. That's great. Yep. Because we have so many different states out there that are watching or are part of this. So you can put in whoever has nice farm stands, please. A 1/2 cup of sugar. So you start with just a 1/4 cup at first. Okay, so you're just going to put that right in here. 1/4 cup. Then you're going to take 2 eggs. Go ahead, Chris.
Linda said it looks like you left the skin on those sweet potatoes. Can that be right?
No, I didn't leave skin. I promise. Linda said that? Linda, no, that's just the meat inside the sweet potato. Okay, I got rid of those skins. Okay, and then, so 2 eggs. 2 eggs, 1/4 cup of sugar, 1.5 cups of sweet potato. Gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg.
Linda said, okay, thanks. The Plainage Library said, love sweet potatoes. And Maureen said there's one in Calverton, turkey farm.
Yes, yes. Is it Molosky's? Is that the one we're talking about? A 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. Just a pinch of salt. A little bit of vanilla extract. About a teaspoon. Let's put this all right in here.
Maureen said yes.
Okay. I have 4 tablespoons of softened butter. I took this out about 2 hours ago, so that is going to go right in there as well. I need a 1/4 cup of whole milk. So I'm going to put a 1/4 cup in here.
I love how you're pouring from one measuring cup to another.
You're not supposed to tell that to everybody.
I know.
That's our secret. So quarter cup of whole milk. Gonna turn on the mixer, okay? Just like this. Just get it to where it is combined. Just go up against the sides of the bowl. Just beat it until it's nice and smooth. This is going to take about 1 hour. The way to tell if it is done is take a toothpick, put it into the center of it. Okay.
Emily X, can you put milk?
Yeah, this one has a quarter cup, Emily, of whole milk, okay?
Long Branch Library said, I always buy a fresh turkey, not frozen, ever since the first time I cooked Thanksgiving dinner for my family and didn't realize about defrosting the turkey. We had to defrost in under running water in the bathtub.
Oh my God. Oh. So, talking about defrosting a turkey, let's say you do buy or get a frozen turkey. You want to leave it in the refrigerator for 24 hours for every 5 pounds that you have, okay? That is the rule of thumb with that, and then it should be defrosted. But everybody's refrigerator, some have it set on 40 degrees, some have it on 36 degrees, so it depends on your refrigerator as well. So keep an eye on that. So I put all the ingredients in here with the sweet potato, which is the sugar, the eggs, the butter, the milk, the vanilla, the cinnamon, the nutmeg, and a pinch of salt.
Oh, okay. Emily meant pet milk.
Oh, okay. It may work, Emily. I'm just so used to when I kind of make something like this to kind of stick with it. But everybody has diet restrictions or preferences, so let me know how it works out if you do make it with that, okay? Because that way I could tell other people when I make this.
Maya X, can you substitute canned pumpkin for the sweet potato?
Canned pumpkin? Yeah, you can, yes. Make sure it's the solid or the puree, okay? Something like that.
Yeah, and Fran X, does it have to be whole milk?
Whole milk is going to give it a nicer texture and body to it, but if you're going to cut back, 2% I would say is the least. You need the fat in there for it. So now on the recipe it says 1/2 cup of sugar. I put in 1/4 cup, but now you take the other 1/4 cup and what you do is you just kind of lightly dust it on top, okay? And you let this sit for 15 minutes. And what happens is, I know everybody's saying it's so much sugar. It is, but it's Thanksgiving, right? And you let this just sit and it kind of melts right into the sweet potato pie. Okay, just kind of brush that a little bit. And it will disappear in 15 minutes, but we might not be with you in 15 minutes. So we're just gonna let this sit, then it's gonna go in a 300-degree oven, and then it'll take about 1 hour. Test it with a toothpick. One thing never do is take your fingers and test it like this. And the reason is because there's sugar on top and the sugar gets piping hot. So make sure you use like a toothpick for it, okay? Don't tap it and say, okay, it's done, or ow, it's okay. Don't do that. So I'm gonna show everybody the way it will come out. And this is the way it will come out here, okay? And that's the way it will look. You could serve this with whipped cream on it. Now, I've always had people ask, whenever I've done this, talked about this, is it to be served with dinner? Is it to be served with as a dessert?
Yes.
Whatever. Yes, what? What do you think, Chris?
Yes to both.
Well, originally, when it first came out, so many years ago, sweet potato pie was supposed to be served with Thanksgiving dinner, and it was your starch. That's what it was. And then if you cool it or just a little slightly warm, put a little whipped cream on it, it is your pumpkin pie for dessert. Okay.
Maureen X, is that a frozen pie crust? If so, what brand do you like?
It is a frozen pie crust. I just don't have enough time in my day to make it. And it is the Pillsbury deep dish one. Okay, just so you know that one. Let me give you some other turkey tips before we go. And if anybody has questions about turkeys or anything we did today, please let me know. Our next food festival will be on December 10th, and it'll be at 1 o'clock, okay, Eastern time, just in case any libraries from far away are on there. And we're going to do 3 different holiday cookies, okay? I'll tell you them in a minute. So I just want to make sure I went over all the different turkeys things. The one thing you want to do is dry the turkey. So pat it dry with a little bit of paper towels, okay? That's going to give you, help you start with a crisp skin. Then you take a little olive oil, a little kosher salt, just rub it all over the top of the skin. Again, you can lift the skin and put a little softened butter in there. I'll just kind of go into the meat, okay? The herbs, 165 is where you want it to finish cooking, okay? So if you put the thermometer in and it says 165 in your oven, and then you let it rest, which you should, chances are it's going to be 170, 175. So you do want to take it out just a little bit earlier so it finishes up at 165. If you take it out when it's about 155, 158, a 10 to 12 pound turkey, you want to let rest for about 20 minutes. If you're a 20 pound or above, it could rest for up to 40 minutes, okay? But I would not do it any less than 30 minutes if it's that big of a turkey, because those juices will just pour right out, okay? Does anybody out there brine their turkey or do a deep fried turkey? I did a deep fried turkey one time when I was a personal chef.
Not for me.
It came out really good, but it is dangerous, so you just have to be really cautious. If it ever rains that day, you have to make sure you're under an awning or a tent, because if the rain gets into the oil, it can splatter. So be really, really careful with that, okay? I think I went over all my turkey tips. So I'm going to bring the sweet potato pie over this side, Chris, and then we'll show everybody our finished dishes. I'll let everybody know what we are making.
Joanne said I brined my turkey, and the Monmouth County Library said that looks delicious.
Thank you so much. Boy, it's like Thanksgiving served right now, right? So our grandma style sweet potato pie, a little whipped cream on here would be good. This here is our day after Thanksgiving turkey soup. The reason I called it the day after Thanksgiving, we always have leftovers. We always have carrots left over, celery. So perfect way to use that all up.
Let's see. Nicole X, how do you make gravy from the dripping from the turkey?
If you take the, what I like to do is roast the turkey on a, like a wire rack, okay? The roasting rack, and then down below I have all the vegetables. You get all the juices down there, okay? Take those juices, just strain it. You can bring it to a boil because you should have enough juice to it. You could take a mixture of like flour and water, or a mixture of butter and flour together, which is called a roux, and just slowly add it to the gravy, or the broth I should say, when it's boiling. Because if the broth is not boiling and you add the thickening agent to it, it's just going to keep going and going without ever getting thick, okay? Always take a pinch of kosher salt, even table salt, and just put it into the flour of the thickening agent. It will take out all the lumps, so you will not have lumps in your gravy this year, okay? Go ahead, Chris.
The Monmouth County Library said thanks for the beautiful presentation.
Thank you.
Fran said thank you for these cooking lessons. Emily said everything looks yummy. Let's see. Long Branch Library said everything looks really yummy. Chris, you are so lucky that you get to have all this for dinner. Yes, I am. And Fran said, what about sugar amount? 3/4 cup in list or half cup that you used?
So it's a half cup that you totally use. You add a 1/4 cup at first, mixed in with the eggs, the butter, everything, and then finish it off with a 1/4 cup and just let it melt into the top of the sweet potato pie. After 15 minutes, you pop it in the oven, 300 degrees for 1 hour, okay?
Carol said, have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Thank you. Everybody, happy Thanksgiving to you and your families. Have a wonderful day. Stay healthy. And I'll see you on December 10th at 1 o'clock for the Cookie Festival. And please bake along. At least make one of them with me. Okay? Bye, everybody.